So those of you that watched the previous Skylanders Vlogging video would recognise this as the Kettering station. This time I'm joined by Luke, but we're not actually going to be exploring Kettering, even though I said we would possibly be doing that in the previous episode, because today we're doing something that does involve that suitcase down there.
I wonder what this magical suitcase means. Should I reveal it? Sure. We're going to Egypt.
What?
What?
Voice crack, absolutely necessary.
Yeah, we have one more train to catch to the airport. Then we just have to go through all the airport waffle, and then plane. Then we're there.
I think we should cancel our holiday and just spend a week here in Kettering.
Let's do it.
Obviously, we're not doing that. We are far too excited for this. As you can no doubt tell from my over-enthusiastic tone right now.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not being sarcastic whatsoever, because I am never sarcastic.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm really, truly very excited, and I'm barely able to contain myself right now.
No, it's been a long time coming.
So like Luke said, we're one train journey away, so as long as the train isn't crowded, we will see you after some B-roll. Here's a quick glimpse of Luton after that short train journey before we head out on a taxi towards the airport. Man, I'm getting really pumped now. It's finally time for this holiday to be settling in, as Luke throws away his rubbish right now like a good citizen. Okay, we've just got off the Uber now, and we have a little bit of a walk in any of these tunnels towards the terminals, because the nearest car park burnt down apparently. So as we're doing works in that, we need to make our way through here instead, but it's not too bad a walk. You can actually practically see the airport from here. Okay, more of a walk than we were originally expecting, but as you can see, we're now at Luton Airport, so we'll pretty much see you after the rest of our journey is complete, which means plenty of B-roll to go. Our plane has officially landed in Hurghada in the dead of night, so even in Egypt the temperatures are quite low at this time. As for the flight itself, unfortunately I never managed to capture any footage whilst we were in the air because I didn't have a window seat for the flight. So these are the first things we get to set our eyes upon after having left the airport, and I must say it's pretty cool to have such a refreshing change up in scenery.
The next morning.
Okay, as you can tell, we're now at the hotel with this very prestigious balcony view up here, but as you can also no doubt tell, it's no longer the night. We've had a drastic change in lighting because we're recording this for next morning, unlike originally planned. What are you even chuckling at?
Hi.
It is my excellent line delivery. Apparently this is hilarious to someone like this man down here. But you're relaxing on the bed, which isn't even the bed we originally intended to stay on.
No, it's not.
This is why we are recording the next day, because last night we were so knackered from all of the shenanigans that unfolded that we decided to just get straight to bed come the end of it all. And why are we not in the hotel we planned to be in originally?
Well, lots of reasons.
Yeah, shit hit the fans for a lack of a better way of putting it, but we will go more in depth with it in a later video. But for now, let's just go as far to say that unfortunately the hotel booking fell through, and we were panicking for a moment as to where we're going to stop for 7 days in Egypt, but fortunately for us, we found this place instead. Obviously I brought all my Skylanders with me as well for two most... That's just rude. So obviously I brought these here Skylanders with me, as Golden Queen and Crypt King are the most Egyptian themed Skylanders of them all, and I wouldn't dare leave home without Legendary Igniter, so that's my trio of Skylanders here on the desk, as well as obviously my very professional carry-on bag for the aeroplane flight. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Had the circumstances been different, that Caves Beach Resort would have been where we would have been staying, but as you can tell we're only next door, it's not that much of an inconvenience. And it's still very beautiful here, so we've definitely traded up and we have a wonderful day to enjoy, so we're going to be enjoying it at the beach. Approaching the beach right now, far off into the distance you can see the Red Sea, but everything beforehand is still absolutely gorgeous. There's so much colour around here. So here we are, more up close and personal with the beach. They have a pier and everything. It's particularly glorious this time of year. I'm liking it so far. Okay, so we've decided to check out this pier. We're currently on the way back after having gone all the way over to that cute little hut out there on the water. And naturally what's so interesting about these piers is that at sea, with the lack of obstacles, you can see as far out as the eye is possible of comprehending. So where the horizon meets the sky is basically the Earth's curvature. If the whole Earth was flat, then I'd basically be seeing other countries from here. But yeah, there's just so much to look around and admire from upon this pier, especially for gleaming on the sea, which is what Luke was pointing out the first moment we stepped foot on this pier, weren't you there, Luke?
Yes.
You were completely out of shot when you said that, but that is okay, because that's the might of a smooth pan for you.
Yes.
But over there it's pretty much all just desert, but once again, with the lack of obstruction, you can see all the way far out to the mountains beyond it. It's very cool. There's a little lighthouse looking thing over there as well to check out. But that, my friends, is just pier in its entirety. There was a lot more to the beach than what initially meets the eye, and when you say a phrase such as that, this right here is exactly what we meant. Okay, so we're on the beach and they have a camel, a freaking camel, and it's so colourful with his dressings too. Man, that is awesome. Right, and the first cocktails of the holiday, and they're here in this nice little shack known otherwise as the Peanuts Bar. I know, odd name for a bar, but it's very cool all of the same. So it's time to start asking the important questions. Do you think they have enough alcohol right now? Okay, it's really warm, and as you can tell from the shot before you, the place is gorgeous, so there really is very little to complain about besides the kerfuffles that went on yesterday, really. Okay, so here's one of the main pools, and Luke is dangerously close to the edge. He's in pushing territory up there. But you also have a main bar above, so naturally, as yet again, to no one's surprise, within this resort, another nice area. As they prepare lunch in the main restaurant area, it's so nice to just stand here in the warm weather, listen to the water in the pool as it rushes through, and the smell of the food as it's being prepared. There truly is no greater feast for the senses. Okay, these trees certainly aren't a regular sight, and neither are hotels such as that, but that's the exclusivity of Egypt, where it's starting to get darker and colder, and by colder, I mean 20 degrees, which is cold for Egyptian standards. Now, naturally, because we've jumped ahead a couple of hours here, that means that today, at least in terms of a video, is coming to a close. So after the first day of our holiday, so far we're loving it. We feel as though we've definitely traded up with the hotels. Hi there, birdies. Oh my gosh, there's so many of them. It's adorable. So now I'm done with a very hard day of exploration. It's difficult to be this lazy.
It is very difficult.
Anyway, he's got his shirt all dressed up and everything.
I do.
And we are using a corner of a room that we never expected to use. We're actually using these chairs back here. Who saw that one coming?
What?
I know I'm interrupted as much as you are, but that being said, as our first day of exploration is coming to a close, we are going to continue filming something tomorrow. And whilst we're at the beach today exploring, we actually booked on for some trips which we have to look forward to later in the week. But whilst we're not on those trips, since there's nothing more than the resort we're going to be staying at, we're going to skip a couple of days recording here and there. So tomorrow we have plenty of things to look forward to. We'll kind of plan as we go along. That's the fun part of holidays, being more spontaneous.
Oh, yeah.
Can you stop agreeing with everything I say? He's so lazy he can't even come up with an opinion at this point.
No.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to that anymore. Alright, we'll see you after this one gets some sleep because he clearly needs it.
The next morning.
Okay, it's time for that breakfast on this lovely, lovely morning. So last night I had macaroni and now this man is obsessed with it.
Well, I went back for more.
It was some damn good macaroni, like 3 rounds worth of damn good macaroni.
Oh, yeah, but we also had the most delicious chicken and beef ever as well.
Oh yeah, it was good. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of food they have on for tonight.
Oh, I don't mind, mate. That's my favourite.
As you can tell from that B-roll right there, we very much enjoyed our breakfast, all 2 rounds worth.
Yes.
That's definitely minimalistic for both of us, but regardless, we're out here chillaxing where you can already see the sun on my face back there. It's boiling out here and that's exactly what we want, that's what we came for.
Flies.
Not the flies on the other hand, but yeah, another great thing about relaxing here is not only the sun, but also the fact that we can sit back, chillax and let some things download because this is the best part of the entire resort for Wi-Fi. Okay, let's watch the step over here as we make our way back onto the main path after having finished our relaxation hour.
Yeah, we've been laying down for a while.
Yeah, so after a good hour of that, we're going to go to some of the stores and find out what currency to take because I just got paid, so naturally it's going to be easy enough for me to take out some Egyptian pounds where it's needed. And the stores of which we just referred to are right over there near the amphitheatre, and obviously these really gorgeous trees because the colours they present us with. A nice contrast to the rest of the greenery around here. Not that the greenery is anything to dismiss either. After all that B-roll of the shops right there, I felt as though it would be worth it to show you the amphitheatre which I referred to earlier. So yes, this is incredibly cool. Obviously the stones are literally built into the architecture around it, so during peak time for the resort there would be shows thrown on down here and the sound will just echo around the arena. That's what makes it so cool and that's where it gets the name amphitheatre from. With that having been said and done, we're now going to head back to the hotel after having, of course, stepped over those fancy steps to get across the grass right now. We got to respect for greenery around here. It looks too awesome to be trampled upon. As you tell from both my hair and the change of an attire, I have indeed returned to the hotel room where we've gotten prepared for the rest of the day ahead of us. I needed this as well. I feel so fresh and relaxed after that shower. And my hair might be wet, but we have the best cure for that here in Egypt. Just to go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll dry in microseconds out there. In fact, I'm kind of surprised that not just by being in the general vicinity of the immense heat that it hasn't dried already. But yeah, the rest of this day is going to be dedicated towards golf, cocktail testing, and just generally nothing at all, which is the best kind of holiday for holidays where you do absolutely nothing. Well, this is awesome. And so are those. Luke has double lightsaber sticks. My lightsaber sticks, I mean clubs, so we can actually go golfing in a second. That was some questionable framing right there. But you know what? It wouldn't be a Night 5 video without questionable framing. It is so tempting to just chuck this in the pool right now, but I wouldn't dare lose for golf ball. It's far too valuable. So now, without further ado, it's golfing time. I sure hope Luke is ready to lose, because you know what? He's gonna. Yeah, lose that is. He's gonna lose, yeah. 100%. This is great smack talk right now. I'm very good at it. I say that with my utmost humbleness, because I am never cocky nor sarcastic. Okay, so far Luke has been obliterating me on this course purely because I hit the ball way too hard, and that's just my style. I like to hit things hard. Why do you think I like heavyweights and Smash Brothers? Regardless, Luke has now gone and done the exact same shot as what I did, and I got it in 3, so can he too get it in 3? Once he actually, you know, finds the ball. Here he goes again. And he swings and he misses. That's much better that time around. Yeah, it was landed where it did on my 3rd shot, but given that this was Luke's 3rd shot, already he can't beat me in this specific hole. But given that he's already beat me on 3 of the other holes, I think he's alright with that. And that was just sad to watch. Hey, it's about damn time, bro. With that being said, there are some nice things around here. There's a nice little lounge cabin type area, which no doubt is used for events in the peak seasons. And then somewhere around here is also, well, another bar for starters with a nice roof to it. And then there's also going to be all the way over there the souvenir shops we saw earlier. So utilising the skills of my zooming in shots, we can see exactly those stores I'm referring to. Isn't it nice to draw a full circle from time to time?
It is.
Once again, I really like these steps that we can use to cross over the grass. And over there, you might have slightly heard in the background, not the music, I'm on about Luke. The music is not celebrating that shot because it was not a hole-in-one, but it was pretty darn close. So never mind, I suppose it was something worth celebrating. And he bops it in, he gets 2, just like I did. It's a shame the reviewers missed that and can never actually confirm it to be true or not. And what about my 2-in-1, not your 2-in-1? We very much had that on film.
Oh, I can confirm he did get 2.
Oh, isn't that just lovely? That's the sweat talking. He's too hot to concentrate on his insults.
I'm just really thirsty. I want to have a swim.
Well, it's a good thing now that we've done that, we can do exactly just that.
Yeah, have a few drinks, go out. It's changing. Oh.
Precisely. Okay, that first hole is slowly but surely going to fade out of existence as the camera continues tracking alongside the 2 of us right now, because we're done with the golf. We're going to head towards the nearest pool. But what do you think of the course?
Not bad, but not great.
It was very basic compared to other mini golf courses we've been to, and it wasn't very well maintained either. The felt was ripping apart from the concrete everywhere. For cement even, that's what they used to effectively build all of the ramps and stuff. But say, it was definitely worth the value which we paid for it, which was absolutely nothing. So for a free course as part of this resort, it was still a nice little endeavour, a nice little escape from what the rest of the resort has to offer. Something different, something nice and something relaxing. Can't go much wrong with any of that really. So as you can tell, I've just been out here besides the pool, letting all of the sun be absorbed by the skin. It's actually really relaxing for me out here, and you can even see our hotel room from back here, rather fancy. But as today has been largely a lazy day, just similar to that of yesterday, that's why the footage isn't particularly substantial, because otherwise it would just be literally an hour of this which you see before you. I don't think anyone needs that, so we'll see you when we see you. As you can see, I once again have gotten dressed up for dinner, and Luke back there is getting his priorities straight because he's currently on his Switch.
Yeah.
Can't fault that. He's specifically playing Tears for the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because I know that just about 100% of the people watching this video, wait no, 110% of the video viewers, they are absolutely curious. They are demanding to know what game it was you were playing. And now you know. You're welcome. What he said. Can't let up an opportunity like this. We have right here a magnificent shot which doesn't even do justice to a real life counterpart, because this is a true piece of beauty right now. The sky and the tinted pink from the sunset. We can't fault it, can't we, Luke?
No.
as you can see, we've chosen to take up residence here in the Peanuts Bar as the day draws to a close. They have shows out here every night, so I'm interested to see what they'll come up with. So what, did they have this one really inconveniently placed tree here and then just decide to like build the entire hut around it or something? Now that was a bright light right there. At least half of the football pitch remains lit. They've got their priorities straight, I can see. Not that anyone's going to be playing football at this time. To comment on the show, it was this comedy sketch where these poor tourists were being constantly approached by hotel staff who were, shall we say, overeager to help the tourists enjoy their holiday. They were effectively taking the piss out of themselves because what me and Luke have already noticed about being tourists here in Egypt is that the locals will constantly approach you and try to sell you on things. It's important not to take offence to this, as they're only staff doing their jobs and they're trying to fill quotas, but it was refreshing to see them being so self-aware and make a really entertaining comedy sketch out of it. As you can see from the night sky, there's no clouds in the sky, as Egypt doesn't get cloud coverage based on the world's convection currents. But enough about convection currents, as you can clearly see from the drastic change in natural lighting, it's the next day and it's time for our first trip, which will be a sailing trip to the island of Orange Bay with some snorkeling and food along the way. But in order to actually get to the place where our trip will actually begin, we first need to be given a ride in this van where we can finally see some more of Hurghada itself. In order to get to the boat which we'll be sailing on for today's trip, we first have to follow this road to the nearest bay. As you can see, this seems to be a popular trip. It's a good thing I don't get seasickness, but if I were to get any form of sickness during this trip, it would be during the car journey here because we had no seatbelts and everyone in Egypt apparently drive like absolute maniacs. Beautiful, though it is very tempting to run through the sprinklers right now, I must admit. But as for the boats, as you can see from this bay area, they have no shortage of boats available to us. This is one seriously fancy looking hotel though. If ever I wanted to stay here, then I'd better start saving for the next 30 years or so. So we've now gotten onto the boat at long last, and my favourite thing about this view is not only being able to look out into the horizon as far as the eye can see, but also the crystalline shade of blue that can be seen in the water. Hey Luke, you want to say bye to Hilton?
Hilton?
Yeah, it's the name of the hotel behind you.
Oh, well, bye Hilton.
Nothing but sea. Given the nature of the car journey here that I alluded to earlier, I never got around to recording any footage of Hurghada itself, but now whilst we sail along the water we can at least take advantage of this magnificent view. So we've now made it to Orange Island. Whilst it was just shy of a few minutes for all of you, for us it took 90 minutes to sail that distance. For an island as beautiful as this, it was worth every second. The water once again has that really nice crystalline shade of blue. As you may hear, Luke is talking about it in the background as well. The weather here is also lovely, as this is by far the warmest day of the holiday up until now, and the scenery on Orange Island speaks for itself. Okay, there's no longer a need to zoom in anymore because we're up close and personal with Orange Bay, and oh my god, it's awesome! Hey Luke?
Oh yeah.
You're just looking over to the cliff faces over there. So apart from all this built-up area, it is just a bunch of huge sand dunes. But you can't fault that water, like I was saying earlier. That is magnificent all the same. This is just incredibly awesome. They have a wall that is literally having been made out of empty beer bottles. So here would be our central area where obviously from the domed roof there's a massive hole that you can look out into the sky from. So that is awesome to say the least. Man, I'm using that objective a lot for the sake of this place, but it deserves it. It's like I've finally met Double Trouble's twin brother, who's somehow even crazier than what Double Trouble is, but if I put a picture of Double Trouble up on screen now, you can definitely see the resemblance. It's uncanny, actually, just how similar the two creatures are to one another. By the toilets over here, it appears as though it leads to nothing except for an area that's currently being built up, as well as a saw blade, which obviously is dangerous. So let's move in the opposite direction of that, to where once again we can see those mountainsides from earlier, as well as just the beach from this backhand perspective, mind you. So that's awesome, but we're going to make our way back towards the centre we saw earlier. I like turtles, and Luke was just saying about how it's very impressive this place is made entirely out of wood, but speaking of wood, there's Crush back there, who has nothing to do with wood, but I had to transition somehow into the fact that they have, amongst the real turtles, a cartoon turtle. So if they can have Crush as a cartoon turtle, where are all the Sahara cartoon turtles?
Back in the UK.
Yeah, actually that's exactly where I left them. Luke does have a point. But now, just like that, we're back to the centre, as I said we would be earlier. Started by those bays over there, because that's where we're going to be meeting our group in about 90 minutes in order to be taking the boat back. But that's right next to, obviously, a place where you can grab yourself a fish and chips combo, so that means the place is off to a good start. But to the right of that, we double backed on ourselves to go to the toilet initially, but now we've double backed upon our double back to find ourselves right by these stairs, which are the things I've been looking forward to exploring most. So we're going to go up there and see what kind of shots we can acquire, because this, my friends, is a photographer's paradise. Okay, this wall here being made out of logs, not quite as impressive as empty beer bottles, but say, for wood, structures have literally been built around for cave mountain type systems, so it's really cool how nature is meeting our man-made structures over here. Very cool indeed. So far, the Orange Bay is really earning its name, because as you can tell from on screen right now, there is a lot of orange. Now that I've gone ahead and flipped my camera around, you can see that there is an amazing view from up here. That is just incredible, my jaw, it has dropped. And there is the rest of the view in its entirety. Obviously you can see the well-made straw and wood hutches over there, but the beach just really extends and goes on and on all the way to the mountains in the far distance, which you can't really see on film as well as you do in real life, but trust me, they aren't there all the same. I am so impressed by this right now. I'm very happy to have taken his trip, to say the least. And you can even see the back of a sign from up here as well, thanks to the might of my zooming in skills. It seems like usually it's another bar, but I have no doubt that during peak times for other bars to be filled up, so having another one all the way upstairs makes total sense to me. And once again, because we're even higher up than we were before, we have some more amazing views of the beach down below. Okay, so whilst this area might be blocked off, you can at least utilise it to check out the views of that area that's currently being built up, which we saw briefly earlier in the video. So yes, it's really nice to see all these mountains and the man-made structures all coming together. Okay, it's time to utilise the full capabilities of my phone camera to create one of the coolest pull focus I've ever achieved. Okay, I'm freaking out right now because even their pots are glorious. Must admit, the sun is blaring so much that I can barely even see this view from back here, but that doesn't take away from its pure beauty. That, my friends, is a good view, but what the rest of the view has to offer is not quite on the same level, I'm afraid. Looks like Luke is doing some sort of abstract photography right now, very fancy, but it would appear there's a really fancy and glorious looking pot right next to our other fancy and glorious pot. Having these many glorious things together is just going to make my mind explode any moment now. So I found this here rocking chair, and the best part about it is that you cannot fault the view ahead of you whilst you're swinging in it to relax. Finally, for Orange Bay, it seems as though they have a nice little lounge type area back here. Like I said in the last shot, it's time we wrapped up Orange Bay, because we have in fact gone in a full circle and wound up back here at the centre, mind you. Obviously, a place like this is going to have some good tourist places to shop, but they also have some massive love hearts that are great for photo opportunities, to say the least. So let's zoom in on that glory over there. Man, that is an impressive heart. One thing I didn't realise until closer inspection is that the touristy shop from earlier is very well decorated on the outskirts. Orange chair, orange bay, little on the nose. But that being said, there's a love heart even here for the little decking, as well as for love hearts that are over there. Once again, all of this is not subtle at all. So that's a cut of the Orange Bay logo, obviously nailed to the desk right here, and it looks magnificent. It's incredibly well detailed, a bit like the rest of the island, really. So all of these bar type areas, this is definitely the best one, where we've came to chill out for the last hour before heading back to the boat, where Luke already has himself a very interestingly designed Pepsi Cola, because as you can tell, it's blue and gold with Egyptian writing on it, because that would be the Egyptian design. It really suits the culture, I reckon.
It does.
With that being said, it's really nice to be half submerged in the water and then half enjoying this wonderful sunlight. I would apologise for buying you, but I'm just that evil that I will not do such a thing. Anyways, we'll see you later after we've enjoyed these delicacies out here in the warm weather, which again is mixed with the nice cold water below us. Even limited edition. Anyway, let's pull our focus, because that is the true beauty of this area right now. You can see Pepsi Cola any day of the week, but that view, that is a very unique view indeed. Okay, for real, this is going to be the last shot we see of Orange Bay in this video, because we cannot leave without first-hand checking out the beach from this angle. This really puts things into perspective. It is so cool. Literally, too, the water is cold. I cannot emphasize this enough. No amount of repetition can put emphasis upon the very thing I'm repeating, which is the fact that the water, it is cold, so very cold. But there's a nice contrast to the hot sun that's currently out. Okay, so right by the booth there, where we're going to be in about an hour and a half's time waiting for our taxi back to the main boat, right nearby it is this here area, which leads to a whole lot of nothingness, but you can't really see all of the mountains nearby, so that's pretty cool at least. So for the very end of the beach, they have this nice and colourful hut. I'm loving the contrast and reds and greens they have on display here, and it looks comfortable. That's the key thing right there. That's what that is. Just based on the reflection of the sun and water, you can tell how warm it is right now. Once again, Orange Island has become nothing but a speck on the horizon, so we're going to see you when we're officially back on land, because at the moment there's a bit too much sea around me to worry about anything else other than landing already. So we're back at the fancy hotel where the sun is still shining, because even in January the daylight hours in Egypt are extended, which seems pretty awesome to me. So here is a quick glimpse into the main built-up area of Hurghada, which we might as well check out in our limited time we'll be spending here before getting back into the death van, as I prefer to call it. Anyway, this time I'm going to be making an extra effort to actually film. This way we can at least see a lot more of Hurghada, so I hope you enjoy the B-roll. Okay, as you can see, we literally just made it back to the resort. And what were your thoughts on the trip today?
Okay, so first of all, massive thanks to the crew of the Elegant, especially Yusuf. He made sure that, you know, me being visually impaired, that I could see everything. He purposely brought fish towards me so I could see the fish when we were snorkeling.
Yeah, on our second snorkeling trip, there were just hordes of fish everywhere. It was a magnificent sight. Even with my goggles all foggy, I thoroughly enjoyed the second snorkeling trip.
There were so many surrounding me and Yusuf, it was crazy. Yeah, and Orange Island was just beautiful.
And warm.
It was hot.
Very warm.
It was too hot. We needed a drink there. And yeah, getting back was easy. Just relax.
Absolutely, we thoroughly enjoyed that, and I hope you guys enjoyed the B-roll as much as I enjoyed actually filming it for all of you. It was nice to finally see Hurghada in its glory.
I agree, my friend. Agreed.
Back on the balcony for this glorious shot again, but this time the shot has been increased tenfold by the presence of my Skylanders. This is amazing, and what's also amazing is that this isn't the only trip we're going on this holiday, because tomorrow we have another one to look forward to in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Well, not the exact middle, because that would be absurd, but to say that's going to be a very unique trip, and I'm looking forward to sharing as much of it as I can with all of you, so I'll see you tomorrow for that excitement.
The following day.
So for our desert trip, it seems as though this is going to be the main communal area. We're waiting here before going out into the desert on spider buggies and quad bikes. Then we'll reconvene here before driving over some dunes in a jeep to get to a small village within the desert. Once we're back from that endeavour, we'll have some food and then we'll watch a show before heading back to the hotel. Okay, so we've parked up out in the middle of nowhere for a driver swap over, but due to Luke's eyesight, I get the privilege of driving this a second time, and boy, that is not the bestest thing to handle, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it so far. And as you can tell, the desert is rather barren. But what do you expect from a desert? Yes, hello there, Luke. How are you doing? There is still civilization off in the pasture though, so we're not completely out in the middle of nowhere, I suppose. But it's still so much fun to be out here, biking it up along the desert. Okay, so the shots earlier did not justify the beauty of those mountains behind us. Man, that is absolutely magnificent. So is my hair with this scarf on right now. I'm liking how I look, to be honest. So we're back in the car, readying up for round 2. Once again, in the middle of nowhere, but this time we're on quad bikes. How cool is that? This time at least, we're even closer to the mountains, so that's pretty neat. We get all this and all this glory to feast our eyes upon. As you can plainly see, I'm not going to apologise for that one, but there is one coming in for a landing, so some other people are now getting ready to start holidays of their own. And it's wonderful that we can see the plane so easily, given how clear the skies are around here. Since when did mountains turn upside down? Just like that, we're back to where we started. I'm just going to be quiet for the moment being and allow you to actually enjoy this B-roll in peace as we drive through the desert in this Jeep of all things. I wound up taking less footage than I anticipated in the Jeep because it was a pretty rough ride due to all the sand dunes. It was still incredibly fun to have such a unique ride though, but as for the being, as you can see from the footage before you, we're now in that village I was alluding to earlier. Whilst we're here, our tour guide will tell us a little bit about the culture and the living conditions in a village such as this. This herbal tea didn't really taste of anything, but it did at least come in this well-designed cup, which is definitely fitting given how amazing the scenery is all around us. I've certainly chosen a very interesting corner of this tent to stand in. Okay, it seems as though I'm brave enough to film from the top of the back of this camel, and the coolest thing about riding these animals is the high point of view. Regardless, whilst on the journey I'm going to go through some of the photos that our photographer took during the trip. These first two are obviously me and Luke on the spider buggy before we're driving off into the desert. Then for this one, I'm on a quad bike preparing once again to drive off into the desert. You can tell from my smile the anticipation I'm feeling. The speed these bikes reached was quite thrilling, so my anticipation definitely paid off here. For Luke's safety, he rode the quad bike with one of the guides. In the end, the man Luke was riding with still let Luke handle the quad bike for himself for a short while, which was quite the adrenaline rush for him. Whilst out in the middle of the desert, we may as well have gotten some photos posing with the quad bikes. It would be a shame not to have done. For our second to last photo, we have yours truly having the bravery to pose atop the camel. By some miracle, I maintained my balance, and whilst falling off the camel wouldn't kill me, it certainly would leave a mark. Finally, we have this beautiful shot of the sunset, because there is no way art like this isn't making it into the final video. So as you can tell from the beautiful scenery right now, the sun has started to set a little bit, so the temperatures have dropped, and it's just so lovely and atmospheric out here. In this final tent, we have more colourful pieces of artwork. Time for us to head back to the main area and the Jeep once again. Here we can find what's known as sand drawings. They're essentially glass jars filled with coloured sand that create a picture within the jar. So we've gone on ahead and bought one, but we've got it personalised so that Luke can finally take home a souvenir. As for dinner, it could have come at a more perfect time, since I'm quite simply famished and I can't wait to feast. As you can see, the food has been abolished. It didn't last very long, that's for sure. But as for the show, we get to essentially lie down on all those pillows we saw decorating the communal area in the previous shots. Before we head back to the hotel, we do at least have this view to enjoy. So as you can tell, we've gotten back from the desert trip. In fact, I'm in my pyjamas already, but Luke has finally nabbed his souvenir he's been looking for.
Ta-da!
It is sand drawing from that stall we saw earlier, so obviously he's got the camel, the pyramid, the sunset, and most importantly of all, what's that inscribed?
My name!
I mean, if I was to get my name inscribed, it would be a bit of a long one. Ignite the fire, my middle name being Fee, a very special and important middle name.
Exactly, I've seen his birth certificate and it says exactly that.
Ignite the fire on it, yeah, it is my legal name. So we will not be seeing you again until check-in on Thursday morning, so I will see you there. Damn it, now I said Thursday. This whole holiday, he's been saying Thursday this entire holiday,
it's
and I've been taking the piss out of him, and now it's finally happened to me.
It's a Tuesday and you said it instead of Wednesday.
Check in on Wednesday, we'll see you then. We're spending our final night of holiday in the specialty burger restaurant rather than the main restaurant. But before we can indulge in some delicious burgers, let's first check out the main indoor bar where we have some nice artwork and a pool table at the far right hand corner. So all the signs up by the pool table, here they are up close and personal. But that being said and done, we're only half an hour away from a glorious gourmet burger to chomp our mouths into, so I am looking very much forward to that all of the same. Which means time for more cocktails. Finally, it's burger time. And Luke, why don't you show us the quality of that Gouda right now? Oh, that looks so good. And I do not apologise for making each and every one of you watching this video right now incredibly hungry, because these burgers are on a whole nother level. I cannot wait to dine into that mushroom right there, because I have a mushroom burger, a beef patty, and a mushroom on top. The glory incarnate. Okay, so we've finally got everything ready on this fine Wednesday morning with our baggage all packed up behind us. That is my reaction exactly. It means our holiday is coming to an end. So we've had nothing but joyous expressions in every single clip we recorded for this holiday because it's been a blast. But now, all of that, like all good things, has to come to an end. So wrapping things up here, what was your thoughts on the holiday?
Well, apart from the start, it's been an absolute blast.
Oh yeah, apart from a hiccups along the way, but you know what? So far, on this 22 years of being on the planet Earth, have not experienced a perfect holiday. Things are going to go wrong. It's about adapting to the situation and making the best of everything that's thrown your way, which I think we've done quite successfully.
Yeah, I agree. I've had the same experiences. I mean, when does a holiday go smooth? It's just not meant to.
But yeah, that being said, we're going to wheel this down to the reception where we're going to be checking out the lobby in the front of the hotel for the very last time. Which, ironically for you guys, is going to be the very first time seeing it.
Wow.
Let's get to that, shall we? Don't mind him right there, he's just, you know, going to peel over and die until it's time for us to finally go back to the airport in a few hours' time. But for now, we do at least have that time to spend at the hotel in this glorious weather with my headphones on, because actually, whilst we're back here by the pool, our Wi-Fi is decent enough for my Spotify to actually stream, so I'm very much enjoying a nice rock mix as I sit down here once again in glorious weather. But we'll see you later for our hotel transfer. This is the main games area where the tables are currently covered up. This location also reveals where the gym and spa have been hiding this entire time. But as we move to the left over here, we can see the main reception of the hotel. The scenery certainly could be a lot more boring, but they at least have plants put out to make up for that. This is our final meal of the holiday, and it looks great. I'm very much going to be missing the food here. It's the last time we'll be walking out of these main grounds. They have shops all around, flags at the front wall, but most impressive is the view well into the distance. Goodbye, Three Corners. It was our pleasure to spend a magnificent week here.
Oh, it was amazing.
Now shut up, we gotta catch that taxi already.
Yeah, we do.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Okay, just landed back in the UK now, and just from stepping off the plane alone, we can tell how much colder is down here. Wow. Yeah, we definitely weren't exaggerating when we said it was cold. So a few hours have passed by, and now it's time for us to take a nice long walk toward the station, but obviously because that's going to be yet another 5-hour wait for the trains all the way back to Loughborough, it means that we're going to take a couple of stops along the way here at 6 AM. Can't you tell from the lack of sunlight out right now? But yes, it is very interesting to be back here at Luton at long last. Very interesting in the contrast of weather, most of all. So just like we did a week ago, to get here we now have to make our way through these tunnels, and there's even an advertisement right there with Wizz Air asking us how was the big wide world, and it was interesting to say the least. But say once we head through here we can check out Luton a little bit more, but it's going to be dark, as you can tell. There is no sign of the sun in sight. But it's going to be nice to actually explore it rather than just taking an Uber and cruising through the entirety of it. So time to change up from that experience, I suppose you guys thought to say. Perfectly placed Holiday Inn Express right by the airport, mind you, because exactly what people need after a long flight is a hotel stop. But not for us, because we slept at the airport a few hours, or for a few hours I should say, which was not comfortable at all, in case you can tell from my tone of voice already, sounding like I'm tired despite said sleep. Talk about one of the slopiest roundabouts in existence. But that being said, one Holiday Inn wasn't enough, so they've gone ahead and created another one right down this slope, which is going to be fun when I have wheels to tackle the slope with. Yeah, I can't wait for this suitcase to just go flying God knows where. More planes taking off in the background. But that being said, I really don't hate the way this looks. This is quite nostalgic for me because it's simplicity incarnate. I've seen roads on hills like this before, and it's just very pleasant to have those memories resurface. Okay, at the moment we're just continuing along the main A roads because it seems as though that's the quickest, most method of reaching the town centre here. So we will see you once we've eventually found civilization. My favourite kind of thing to find, besides Skylanders of course. So we're back at the station at least, but we've got ways more to go if we want to get to that town centre beforehand. And wait, you know, several more hours for that train arrival. Because the thing is that we've booked specific times, because travelling at 12 o'clock is basically £40 cheaper than travelling at 6 AM. That's just how the UK train system works. Well, checking out this part of Luton at 6 AM when it's completely dark outside is certainly a different sight to behold, isn't it there, Luke?
Just a bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a bit.
So that alleyway right there is the much longer and much more sketchier route we could be taking right now. But with those two things in combination, why would we dare choose to go that way when we have this way to go instead? Let's hop to it. FYI, that sound back then, it was Luke. Definitely not a train. Seems like we've came across more shady alleyways. No thank you, we're still gonna stick to the main A roads leading into a town centre. But at least, as you can tell from the parks surrounding us, we are somewhat getting there. Well then, that is absolutely positively 10,001% abandoned. Don't ask me where I get those numbers from, it's all rather wacky. And speaking of wacky stuff, we now get to head under the roundabout right here by using this network of tunnels. So let's get to it. I always find it funny when they have benches out here in the middle of nowhere that no one in their right mind would actually use. Except Luke, apparently. It's a bit wet by the looks of it.
Cold.
Okay, so upon the other side of the tunnels, we have approached some very artistic walls, and that makes sense because we are right by the UK Centre for Carnival Arts, as you can tell by that very conveniently placed sign, as well as the University of Bedfordshire. Yeah, this is pretty cool, the same, especially the whole wall pattern things, because I like floor patterns, so wall patterns take it to a whole new level. Wow, now that is one good almighty looking church, but as you can tell from this pathway ahead of us, we've finally diverted from the main A road, so the city centre can't be far off from here. Right, so the end of the street here marks the start of the town centre, where we'll finally come across a McDonald's where Luke can rest and get himself some food, to which I reckon, after having walked for an hour solid in the dead of night, I think he deserves a round of applause for that.
I'm still going.
He's still going alright. Okay, well, it appears the town centre is much more well kept and nice than what I was initially expecting, so we're going to continue wandering through until we find ourselves that very McDonald's we've been eagerly anticipating. Ooh, nice clock. That being said, why is a gorilla the advertisement for a unisex hairstylist? What is it about gorillas that just scream hairstylist to these people? I mean, whatever it is, the advertisement probably is working. I don't know, you can't really assume all too much because currently it's closed due to just how early it is in the morning. Those guys are still in bed, I guarantee it. Unlike us, we're not so lucky.
No.
Okay, so we might be out of luck, but what we aren't out of at least is McDonald's. Let's freaking go. Okay, so after having acquired a breakfast at McDonald's, we spent a couple more hours in here waiting for the sun to rise. So as you can see, we now have a lit up Luton to continue exploring. Wow, we certainly have traded up with the clocks. That one is way bigger, and there's also a statue out front, which is magnificent. It's very well detailed, not that it's really picking up on camera right now, but trust me, the detail is there. So here is Luton CEX. It's part of this main shopping complex, but for the moment being it's closed, as you can clearly see, so we'll just have to return to it later. Here is the centre of that main shopping complex we saw earlier, and the most important thing about it is that the Poundland is currently open, so it's time to head in there and stock up on some snacks. After that quick stop at Poundland, this is the view at the very end of the shopping centre. It's not half bad if you were to ask me, but now that the CX has officially opened up, it's time to double back upon ourselves and finally conduct some Skylanders hunting in this Skylanders Vlogging episode. Unfortunately, the Luton CX doesn't have a Skylanders display to speak of. The closest we have to one is this little corner of the shop with Bowser figurines. This does include the Skylanders Superchargers Racer Starter Pack with Hammerslam Bowser inside it, which is awesome looking, as you can tell from the might of my zoom-in skills. Some sort of Skylanders find is better than no Skylanders find whatsoever in my book. This is an awesome sight to behold. From the moment we left the shopping complex, there are golden camels. It's almost as if the universe knew that we just made it back from Egypt of all places. But apart from the bar right there, you can also find some greenery on the left. But then there's the rest of the pathway, which is just your typical busy UK main street, really. Well, if the future demands it, then I suppose I have no other choice than to participate. And that being said, in the background there, you heard a massive ass bus, which is not even in service apparently. Regardless, the station is up this way, so we will see you there. That's an interesting looking train, the Thameslink train. It is silver! Silver!
48 hours later.
We're going to be spending the last day of the vlog here in Leicester.
Yes.
Where we can actually do hunting with the Skylanders and places outside of CX because of the unique stores that Leicester has to offer.
Yes.
We'll be checking those out. But first things first, we've got to get our priorities straight, which means throwing axes at targets. Yes. You don't get much more fun than that, to be honest. Throwing axes is such a great stress relief, because what you need after a stress relief and holiday is more stress relief, apparently.
Yes.
So this right here, all of this is Leicester for you. This is one of those stores pretty unique to Leicester, which I was alluding to earlier, the Super Game Shack, with plenty of gaming memorabilia to be seen before we even enter the shop. We're now inside the shop, and they've got pre-owned games that are all kept in pristine condition due to the plastic wrapping that they placed them in, but more importantly, there is the fact that in the Wii section, I managed to find Skylanders Giants and Skylanders Swap Force. This is the joy of physical game collecting, but right beside the Wii section is the Amiibo amiibo section. They have quite a wide selection, and some of these figurines are even in their original boxes. It's clear that the staff who run this shop have conducted their research, as these amiibos are all very close to their usual market price, rather than their recommended retail price. But next up is the Xbox 360 section, and I've came across both Skylanders Trap Team, which is the English version, something that I need as my version is entirely in French, but then right behind it is Skylanders Swap Force, which I don't have on the Xbox 360 whatsoever. Luckily I can pick up both of these for only £9. Finished checking out that Super Game Shack, and now the sun has came out to start blinding us. We're gamers, we're not accustomed to this, but speaking of being gamers, that shop was tailor-made for us two specifically. It was our sort of paradise, you could say.
Agreed there.
And yes, whilst they do have Skylanders games, they don't have any Skylanders figures, but still finding Skylanders games alone is more than what we usually come across, so that's pretty cool all of the same.
Yeah.
But now that we're done being blinded by the sun, we can finally check out this angle axe where some axes are gonna be thrown. Yes, yes it is.
Oh, I thought.
Obviously something's wrong with the axe on that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Filmmakers know this is what it is.
Exactly.
Right, third one's done.
Apparently it's not the charm. Lob it. Damn. Well, yeah, it worked. Damn.
So as you can see, we're now done with angle axe throw, and Luke is currently just in the midst of important phone calls. We're going to keep a voice down in honour of him. And that being said, it was fun to lob some axes, but we're going to spend the rest of the day chilling out even more until our train home later on this evening. Yes, Leicester is officially awesome because it has the awesome floor patterns to go along with it. Everyone knows the awesome floor patterns make for an awesome location. That's really the one and only simple explanation behind it, really. And there's nothing more chill than, first of all, cartoon characters behind us, and second of all, our custom Dr. Pepper, well, they're not custom flavours, but they aren't ones we regularly see in the UK.
No.
Strawberries and cream. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, nothing more chill than all this right now.
Oh yeah.
As you can see from the Jurassic lighting change, it is a couple of hours later, but we're now heading towards the train station with a couple of stops along the way, so there's still a little bit of juice left in this vlogging video for you all to enjoy. And of course one of those stops is going to be CEX, but I won't have my hopes up for this one because there's usually no Skylanders to speak of. Okay, so while CEX was a bust for Skylanders, we're now going to go into the Sports Direct where a game is found inside, and yes, that will be a bust for Skylanders also, but what it won't be a bust for, on the other hand, is going to be none other than Tekken 8, because since the reviews for this have dropped, it's been very well received, so naturally I want to give it a shot myself. And as for the road ahead of me, as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. This is the direction to the train station, and whilst making our way there, I want to share two more games that I found today. These were from CEX, so before we even get into game, I already have two pickups under my belt. These games are Tekken 7 and Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark. Two very contrasting games when it comes to their overall quality, I will say that much, but I'm equally excited about playing both of them, that's for sure. In the heart of darkness, still that building is rather quite beautiful with the colours and the nice artwork, but yes, we're not far from a train station now, as you can tell from my awesome zooming skills, so we will see you there without further ado. Well, considering right next to this handsome mug over here, it means we're only in one possible place, which is the train station, so we will get onto the platform where we need to be, hopefully before we're late, where we're going to see this guy off. There it is, the train we're after, with barely any coaches as always. The train has just taken off now, as you can tell we are aboard and we are on time, most important of all. In fact, we were early, and everyone knows that when you're early you're actually on time. If you're on time, you're late. That was exactly the reaction I was looking for. That being said, overacting or not, this is where we say goodbye to Luke. Really enthusiastic, like trust me, compared to how he normally is, that is about as enthused about the situation as he gets.
It is.
I want to thank you for coming along.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
It's been more than a blast, that's putting it mildly, but we will of course be seeing you in a future episode of Skylanders Vlogging.
Bye bye.
We'll see you then. So here we are on our final train journey of the video. After hours upon hours of travelling this way, I must admit, I'm looking forward to it coming to an end. I'll see you all after I've gotten off the train at Loughborough. Officially back in Loughborough now, so I guess I'll be seeing you as soon as I get home. So as you can see, I'm now back home and I'm recording this final clip of the vlog 10 months after I recorded the rest of the video, so that would explain as to why I've had my beard shaved, which ironically makes me look 10 months younger as opposed to 10 months older. But that being said, we're going to take a look at the two pickups I got from Leicester, Swap Force and Trap Team on the Xbox 360. So now that means that I own every single Skylanders game on the Xbox 360, one of the only two consoles where every Skylanders game is available, the other console of course being the PlayStation 3. So that being said, I think this video being 1 hour long already is plenty of length, so we are going to roll it out without further ado. And because I have now cancelled channel memberships on the channel, that means that this rendition of the particular outro is going to be the last time we see this version of the outro on the channel in its entirety, so I hope you enjoy it for the very last time. I cannot in good conscience end off this video without first thanking all of my incredible channel members whose continued support help make these videos possible. Without them, these videos would be near impossible to make, so from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate every last one of them. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, there are plenty of options on screen now to explore, and please consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. On that note, this video is coming to an end, so thank you so much as always for watching. Until the next video arises, peace!